Hey guys, Lord here, back again with another action figure review, and today I'll be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Marvel's 85th Anniversary Astonishing X-Men Wolverine. This, of course, is brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro, and was a figure I initially pre-ordered, then canceled, kind of kicked myself in the nuts for it afterwards, but luckily I managed to score it on Amazon out of freaking nowhere, mind you, for retail price. I don't know what it is with Amazon, but they pull through sometimes. That said, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we address the elephant in the room in the fact that I have recently somehow managed to hit 1,000 subscribers yet again, because remember, old channel got hacked, was almost at 2K on that one. So from the bottom of my blackened heart of darkness, I thank all you guys out there for your support. I couldn't have done it without you, and maybe I'll have to do something to commemorate that. We'll see. I still gotta do my top 10 list from 2024, and well, God knows when that's going to happen, right? So, with that being said, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all good old Logan has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with an alternate Logan head. You just can't have a Wolverine without a Logan head, and this is a pretty good one. I'm not going to lie, probably one of the better ones. It's way better than the Andy Serkis looking sons of bitches we used to get back in the day, so that's cool. Glad to see a little effort put into this line. That said, we get a pair of fist hands without the claws, just because it's easier than popping them all out. And then we also get a couple of new hands. We get an open hand and a pointy finger hand, or booger picking hand, or pull my finger hand. Whichever, and unlike most pointy finger hands, this one has the in and out hinge instead of the up and down one, so that's interesting. But other than that, you get the box that I'm sure most of you out there who opened this figure threw in the trash. So taking a closer look at the man of the hour, Wolverine here, very cool figure. And the main reason I canceled this guy initially was because I had no interest in completing the Astonishing X-Men team. I know it's a small team, I know it's a beloved team, I know it's a popular team, but Jim Lee X-Men, that's my X-Men. I have a damn near complete Jim Lee X-Men team, and quite frankly, much like a lot of Ninja Turtles collectors out there, evil villain, I'm feeling a bit of X-Men fatigue at this point, because it's like, okay, we got all the Jim Lee X-Men. Oh, here they are again in, better colors with better paint apps or whatever. Or here they are again pinless, so they're not gummy and floppy and topple over like dominoes. It gets tedious after a while. It gets monotonous. I just want something different. Like, when am I going to get Zarathos Vengeance and maybe even an updated Johnny Blaze or something? Like, come on, man. But at the end of the day, this is a pretty freaking awesome figure, and I'm very happy to have it. Definitely throws a monkey wrench in my top 10 Marvel Legends of the Year list, I assure you. But as far as his articulation goes, he's got a double ball peg in the neck. One of the better ones for Hasbro. Problem is they keep lodging it like in the base of the neck instead of towards the top, so it doesn't get much range. But you do get a little bit. He can look up for the most part. He can look down for the most part. He can tilt side to side and rotate as well. So that's all fine and dandy. His shoulders can pop up about this far. He's got the floaty shoulder pieces here. Unlike the Tiger Stripe Wolverines we've gotten in years past, this is not connected to a hinge joint. It's just on a little swivel point there. So it will rotate with the shoulder. But he does have the beautiful butterfly that swings his arm back and forth. That works very well. Doesn't look too egregious either. And you can rotate his arm a full 360 without jacking up the shoulder pad. And without the shoulder pad being in the way. So that is pretty good. That said, it should be worth noting that this guy's a completely 100% unique sculpt and has brand new arms, brand new torso, brand new legs. Love the sculpt on this guy. I think the anatomy is good. Maybe the legs could have been a little thicker, just a little bit, but the arms, the torso, I think all of that looks great. He does have a bicep swivel. Rotate that all the way around. He's got double elbow, nice and smooth there, but not loose. He does have, of course, swivel and hinge at the wrist. Whoop. And I think these are new claws, if I'm not mistaken. I don't recognize them. I don't think they're the 97 ones, but I could be wrong on that. Just want to make sure those are pushed in all the way. This one on mine had a little bit of schmutz on it. I had to kind of work that off. It's not perfect. It's got a little blemish on there, but it's better than it was. And unless somebody in the comments can tell me how to clean that up a little better, make it smooth like the rest of them, I'm just going to leave it alone. I don't want to jack up this figure because he is kind of hard to track down nowadays. That said, as far as his torso goes, he's got the diaphragm joint, so he can rotate up here, which I'm not a fan of this inverted torso articulation. It's never been my thing, but I know a lot of people do like it. But he can tilt back about this far. Not very far. I thought he could tilt back further than that. But he could tilt forward about 1 notch with the diaphragm joint. And then, of course, he's got a little side to side there. And then he does have the ab crunch down by the belt. So you can pop it back 1 notch. I think you could pop it forward 2 notches. So there you go. And with the diaphragm joint, you can get a good crunch forward. And then you can lift the head up. So you can get him in plenty of dynamic Wolverine poses. As far as the hips go, almost perfect split. Eat your heart out. Spider-Man will drop down the hips. You don't need them. All you need is a good ball socket. That's what she said. You can kick forward, dang near 90 degrees. Again, no drop down. That's good. Kick back, not too far. He's got a thigh cut, which is gummy initially, I will say, just like the biceps kind of are. But once you get it moving, it's pretty smooth. So no need to modify that or anything. He's got a double knee. That works just fine. And last but not least, he has a hinge in the foot with a rocker joint. No boot swivel, surprisingly, and there's plenty of room for one in there. So very surprised they didn't do that. Very surprised they didn't just reuse the X-Men 97 lower legs there so he could have a boot swivel. Maybe he would have been too tall, because I know Wolverine is a very stout fellow, but very awesome figure. I like him a lot, with the exception of no boot swivel, making him a little tricky to pose, and that little blemish on the 1 claw on mine, which sometimes I don't even feel it. Again, that's what she said. I dig this figure a whole heck of a lot. I think he is awesome. I'm so glad I managed to get him at retail price. Forget a good price, just retail price. That said, quick question for anyone out there watching this that still tries to track stuff down at retail. Any of you guys see any of this Marvel Legends, Marvel's 85th anniversary program stuff at the store? Never saw any of it up here. I'm kind of curious because I do have an Ollie's and they tend to get stuff that, well, kind of sort of doesn't show up at regular retail. So, you know, fingers crossed, I might be able to score an Odin for 30 bucks or even Hulkbuster, better yet. So, with that being said, it is time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old Astonishing Wolverine, alongside a couple other Wolverine figures from the Marvel Legends line that we took a look at on the channel this past year. We have the Helverine, aka the Weapon of Vengeance, from the very much underrated Strange Tales Blackheart Build-A-Figure wave. I really enjoyed that wave. It was something different, you know? Different is good, people. Different is very good. And then we also have the X-Men 97 Tiger Stripe Wolverine, my personal favorite costume for Wolverine because, well, 90s. But as you can see, Astonishing does take some cues from the 90s Tiger Stripe look while also modernizing it up a bit at the same time. So there you go. But as you can see, also, Astonishing is a buck all his own. Wolverine is pretty much the old Wolverine body buck we've seen time and time again, and X-Men 97 is essentially a pinless version of the Tiger Stripe Wolverine figures we've gotten in years past. So, getting the two of them out of the way, so we can make way for our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's brother Mandibulus, who's always dropping his club. Some things never change. As well as the infamous 11 Spawn, and considering the fact that he is not even fully on screen, I think it's safe to say that he towers over everyone. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and the question I'm sure most of you out there in good old YouTube land are wondering, was Overlord a dumbass for canceling his pre-order on this figure? Yes, he was, but thankfully Overlord was able to snag good old Astonishing Wolverine here up on Amazon for retail price, much to my surprise. But I am so glad that I did. This is a freaking awesome Wolverine figure. If you want what is quite possibly the best Wolverine figure in Marvel Legends right now, then definitely try and track this guy down for a reasonable price and pick him up. I assure you, you will not be disappointed. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Thanks once again for 1,000 subscribers, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later.